What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool 3, the most anticipated Marvel movie since No Way Home. So we're going to talk about the alleged post-credit scene and how they're using Hugh Jackman Wolverine, with it not being the Logan who sacrificed himself at the end of the Logan, how it actually tells you a lot about the alleged return of some of the biggest icons in Marvel's cinematic universe history. How they're using Wolverine in this movie tells you a lot about how we could potentially see Black Widow, Tony Stark, Chris Evans, so on and so forth, if they're bringing back these dead Marvel icons, which most people seem to think they are. So yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture based content that I try to deliver personally on this channel on a daily basis. You could become a channel member for less than 9p. For less than $1 really does help keep the lights on at the Warstu headquarters. Also, if you could, follow us on Instagram at Warstu to see the Be Face and Be Face. And if you could, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into this video. So we've already been over it once before, but a few days back there was an article that came out. Kevin Feige said to Hugh Jackman, "Don't come back. Don't play Wolverine again." And this is pinnacle to how the dead Avengers could and most likely will return. So this was said. Kevin Feige didn't think it was a good idea to bring Hugh Jackman back and revisit Wolverine. I said, let me give you a bit of advice, Hugh. Don't come back. Feige recalls, you had the greatest ending in history with Logan, and that's not something we should undo. The Marvel boss noted that Wolverine from the highly anticipated superhero film Deadpool and Wolverine won't be the same one from the X-Men movie. So if you haven't watched Logan recently, what happens at the end is you have X-23, aka played by Daphne Keane, shooting X-24, which is Logan's clone, in the head with an antimonium bullet. And that Logan basically died. So what's happening in Deadpool and Wolverine is we're getting a variation of Wolverine that is non-echelon. He's the worst of the worst. He's a drunk. But it's not the actual Wolverine from the Logan timeline, though apparently the Daphne Keane X-23 will be the one that's seen her father Wolverine die. Now, where am I going with this? Where am I going with this? Well, we know Black Widow died. We know Iron Man died. We know literally every single character that's ever portrayed a Marvel superhero is returning. Obviously, Chris Evans' Captain America didn't die. He just kind of retired and let himself age, so on and so forth. So if they are bringing back Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, and Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., then they will be very different variations of the characters. So, what is the rumored post-credit scene? Now, from what I understand, it sounds freaking wild. From what I understand, careful spoilers, the end of Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be some variation of Deadpool and Wolverine ending back up in Wade's apartment with Logan. And that universe dies, apparently, or doesn't die. It's very unclear what the ending is going to be. But the rumored post-credit scene that I've been seeing going around is the actual ending is going to be mind-blowing. And I've seen this online. Now, let's just say rumored because I don't think this is real. But apparently, if you go back a year or so, you know this whole movie was going to set up Battleworld. We were going to get anchors from every universe, and it was setting up the prime version of all these heroes to go to Battleworld and save the day. Well, apparently the end of this movie is literally going to do that. It's going to somehow have a variation of Black Widow, have a variation of Captain America, Chris Evans. It's going to have a variation of Robert Downey, Iron Man. But as we explained in the prologue, Kevin Feige was very much against bringing Logan back from death. And Kevin Feige has been widely said, he said this multiple times, that he won't undo the Iron Man death. So if they are going to go for nostalgia for Avengers 5 or Avengers 6, they're not going to be bringing people back from the dead. That just won't work, which for the general audience, I think will be fine. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So the rumored post-credit scene at the end of the movie is allegedly the heroes from each Earth, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, basically forming like a new Avengers or some kind of Illuminati team with a bunch of characters from the multiverse are slightly different to save the day. But that can really only happen if there's a massive threat that's already happened. We know by the end of the movie that Cassandra Nova will be done and dusted pretty much. So that's what I've heard. So now we're going to go over a bunch of Marvel rumors that have been going around the internet. So, according to the internet, Marvel Studios' X-Men reboot will be set in a separate universe from the MCU via My Time to Shine. Now, it has been rumored for a while now. It came from Holyfield News originally that the Earth that Monica Rambeau at the end of Captain Marvel 2 ended up on will actually be the X-Men universe. Now, if that is true, that is pretty darn wild, if that is true, if you think about it. But that would be a good way. And the fact that the X-Men 97 show has been so successful and it's been doing bad numbers and people were loving it, it kind of does, go with that plot if you want. So also in the news, apparently, these are only going to be mentioned in the Deadpool and Wolverine in some capacity. Apparently, Punisher, Thomas Jane, Ben Affleck Daredevil, Aaron Taylor, Johnson Quicksilver, all three died. To Cassandra Nova, only mention, no appearances. So the kind of gist is apparently Cassandra Nova is going to be controlling Alioth in the Void, and she's apparently killed so many people to the point where you're going to only hear about some things. I mean, to me, it's kind of on the same lines as hearing of a red monster fighting Wolverine, but you never see it. I mean, I think it's bad when they do things like that, but I get why they can't bring absolutely every single person. But if Cassandra Nova is going to be an absolute beast, then it would make sense that she's killed many, many people previously in the Void. And like I keep saying, the actual cameos that are going to be in the movie have to make sense. Has to be X-Men. Has to be Fantastic Four from the Foxverse. Now, I get it. People are like, yeah, but it's a Deadpool movie. Anybody can turn up. Sure, that is true. But I don't think they're going to have any random person just show up in a movie to boost numbers, because the real big cameos are realistically not going to leak, realistically. So if that was the case, the big-ass cameos that have not leaked anywhere thus far on the internet, on Twitter, on 4chan or Reddit, they will be kept secret for a reason. So I don't think they're going to chuck 60 cameos into this movie. Now, the rumors of the reshoots of there being like 23 characters added, I mean, as far as I'm aware, that's actually true, but a lot of these characters are variants as Deadpool, variants as Wolverine, the X-Men that have already featured, like some of the members for the Fantastic Four. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of iterations of them. So there is a lot of characters that could potentially appear, but I don't think you should get your hopes up to the level that it's on with the likes of Multiverse of Madness, because people are like, yeah, everyone's just making up stuff every day. They're not. There's literally rumors going around from some of the biggest scoopers in the game. There's many rumors going around every single day. Rumor, Deadpool and Wolverine had several special cameos recorded, but now cameos that are not important to the story will be cut from the film. That is interesting. We've heard the likes of Owen Wilson's character. We've heard the likes of Halle Berry Storm. We've heard so many people going to be in this. X-23, B-15, Kidpool, Lady Deathstroke, Storm, Halle Berry, Wolverine Pool, Gambit, Cyclops, Headpool, even Thor, even Loki. Although that would make sense. Realistically, the actual main Deadpool, we know there's going to be Megasonic Teenage Warhead, Shatterstar, Taylor Swift, so many potential cameos. But realistically, if the non-important ones are going to be cut, maybe that's the case. This movie's screen tested that well that I can't understand, except for doing, the basic pickup shots and a few things here and there. Why would they actually need to do reshoots if this movie's screen tested as well as it actually did? I'm just freaking excited to see what this movie is actually going to set up. Not necessarily for this actual movie, but for the catalyst for where the movie's going to go going forward after said movie. I'm more excited for that, realistically. So I know some people may get annoyed at the videos that we're covering lots of stuff, and some people say it's repetitive. It's not. We're literally going over what the biggest scoopers in the game are covering, and people, based on comments and views on the Marvel videos, they're getting much better. So that just tells me that people want this kind of content. So as far as people want it, we will keep covering it. And like I said in the prologue, I don't know how true the alleged post-credit scene is, but I've seen that going around. So I will label it rumor in the title, so people don't think I'm saying it's true, but you never know. It could literally be anything. But we are here at the Warstu channel. We are very excited for where the MCU could potentially go. And I believe that if they set up Doctor Strange 3, Thor 5 to have some kind of multiversal threat, I believe this could be bigger than No Way Home in the sense of when we get to Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu, check us out on Twitter, Warstu G. Now I'll catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch ya later.